It is time for round 3 of the Venice British Superbike Championship, and it's time for the second race of the weekend for the RNG British Talent Cup. But first, here's some highlights from race 1 yesterday at Donington Park. Philip Soroviak got a fantastic launch against Julian Correa. Correa held it around the outside though to hold on to the lead. We saw Dan Goodman going down the road. At the sharp end of the field though, it all began to kick off in the battle for victory involving Lucas Brown, Soroviak, Emmanuel Brinton, and of course the Floridian Julian Correa. 4 riders going nose-to-tail, tussling with one another, corner by corner. It all kicked off until Soroviak ran off onto the escape road at the Foggy S's. That put him out of contention for victory, and then Correa ran wide, allowing Brinton to go through into the lead, and that is where he would stay until the checkered flag. The upshot is Brinton took his first win of the season, Julian Correa finishing in second, and Lucas Brown rounding up the podium just ahead of Ryan Frost. Fantastic result for Brinton. He'll be hoping for more here today. It is time then for the second race of the weekend for the RNG British Talent Cup here at Donington Park. And we are looking forward to this one in the resplendent sunshine here in the East Midlands. This is the second row of the grid, and this is Lucas Brown, the man who leads the championship coming into this round. Has a 9-point advantage over Julian Correa, who lines up just alongside him on that second row of the grid on board the Microlice Cresswell racing machine. Let's see what he is going to be able to do. At the head of the grid, it is the head of the second row, I should say rather. It is Emmanuel Brinton on the Cavara Project RS racing machine, fresh off the back of that victory yesterday. Clayton Edmonds, though, with the 3rd quickest lap in the race, sees him line up on the front row on board the Team City Lifting RS racing machine. Ryan Frost just missing out on a podium on board the MLab Racing Fibertech Honda, second on the grid for him. And Philip Soroviak, fantastic result for him back in Navarra after taking a victory in the second race of the weekend. He'll be hoping to try and make that his second win of the season here at Donington Park this morning. Well, the riders then on the grid, the sunshine is out as we look at the fantastic drone shot down towards Redgate Corner, and very much looking forward to this one. Neil, we saw some fantastic racing yesterday. The upshot was, of course, that Brinton took his first victory of the year. Yeah, fantastic racing, definitely the description I would use. And there was 7 or 8 potential podium possibilities yesterday, in my opinion. And all of them had different skills, different part of the racetracks. But I really believe Emmanuel Brinton had the racecraft, he had the knowledge, he had the strategy to get the job done in the end. We've got someone stalled or broken down, number 11. Ewan Jones, who's having a technical problem here on the warm-up lap. You can see there, almost looks like the rear brakes locked or something, isn't it? It's locked up, yeah, definitely. Leaving skid marks down the circuit. They will get him off the track. There's plenty of time, but yeah, this is going to be another tough. Well, let's have a look at the championship standings then. So it is Lucas Brown who has a 9-point swing over Julian Correa in second place. Emmanuel Brinton still very much in contention. You've got 4 riders mathematically into the shout of claiming the championship lead coming out of this weekend. Philip Soroviak, even if he did take the victory, he would still be at least 1 point adrift, but still very much in contention for the title nonetheless. So the first row of the grid, Philip Soroviak starts his one on pole position with Ryan Frost and Clayton Edmonds alongside on the front row. Row 2 is Emmanuel Brinton, Julian Correa and Lucas Brown. Row 3, George Bowles with Ronnie Harris and Harley McCabe for company. Row 4 should be Mason Foster, but he came to a stop on the sighting lap to the grid, so won't be taking to this race. Ollie Walker and Harrison Mackay on the 4th row. Then you've got Josh Raymond Jr. with Scott McPhee, and it should have been Ewan Jones on the 5th row, but of course we saw him with that technical problem a few moments ago, so unlikely to make the start. Charlie Huntingford heads row 6 with Peter Willis and Alexander Rowan for company. Row 7, Josh Bannister, Dan Goodman and Eli Banish. Row 8 is Bill Harris Benjalif and then Charlie Barnes. Row 9, the Munson burner himself, Samuel Munson in 25th place with Tyler King and then Jack Burrows for company. And the 10th row of the grid completed by Isaiah Devine. So we are a couple of riders down. It will be, what's that, 26 taking to the start of this one, but I'm sure no less action compared to what we saw yesterday. No, and I can't see anyone breaking away. There was a 4 or 5-way battle for most of the race. It is very difficult, and that's what makes this championship so good. All bikes completely equal. Honda NSF 250s around 40 brake horsepower, all within the weight limits. So yeah, same tyres for everyone. So it's going to be a 4 or 5-way battle at the front for sure. So then, ready to go for the second race of the weekend for the 2024 R&G British Talent Cup. There is Clayton Edmonds on the red RS City lifting machine. Ryan Frost alongside him on that front row, and Filip Sorowiak heading the field. The green flag is waved at the back. It's 14 laps of action then, ready to go here at Donington Park. Who will be crowned the victor? Will it be the double for Brinton, or will we see another rider riding to the top? All eyes then on the red lights as they come on now. Lights out and we're underway. Good start from Sorowiak off the pole position, but a belter from Ryan Frost off the middle of the front row as he leads down towards Redgate Corner. Are we seeing any moves being made for third place? Well, Clayton Edmonds is losing a handful of places as Emmanuel Brinton and Julian Correa have come up and gone through into third and fourth place there respectively. So from the front row of the grid now popping down to about fifth place here, because Ronnie Harris is attacking Clayton Edmonds and trying to challenge down through the Craner curves. But a fantastic start there for Ryan Frost sees him leading through into the old hairpin.
Definitely great to see everyone get through Redgate on the first lap, all safely through. Ryan Frost, brilliant start, absolute belter of a start, and yeah, Clayton Edmonds as well. And I think Ryan Saxon with the RS Racing Machine, he knows how to get a bike working, and not quite on the podium yesterday, but certainly put some fast laps in, and I'm sure they've done a little bit of tweaking overnight, and Clayton will be very much more on the ball today.
Ryan Frost there just getting his nose chopped off by Julian Correa for second place, who's made his way up on the microlised Cresswell racing machine. You can see Emmanuel Brinton there, the black and green machine, in fourth place at the moment, challenging, or trying to challenge for fourth place against Lucas Brown, the championship leader on board the Sencat Honda. No way through for him at the moment as they come out of the foggy Essex for the first time. So relatively clean opening lap, and are we going to see a change of lead here for the first time? Well, Correa has a look to the inside of the Melbourne Loop. Sorowiak's just got him covered off for the time being, and holds on to the lead as we exit out of that corner and head down in towards Goddard. But Ryan Frost looking to try and challenge as well, goes for the inside line, doesn't quite have the move to make it stick, and it gets very tight there for the race lead. I thought Correa might almost end up in a bit of contact with Sorowiak, but they just managed to avoid it as they complete the first lap.
Yeah, they could do a lot worse and just let things settle down these opening laps. They can't be making any mistakes. They can't let the group get away. Lucas Brown there in fourth position, and we know where he's going to do his passing. He did so many passes into McLean's yesterday. Pretty much every lap showed his cards there, and yeah, strong point for him. So expect some passing as they come up to McLean's. Good
starts to the race for Alexander Rowe, Dan Goodman, and also Jack Burrows as well. They've made up 6, 6 and 9 places respectively. Correa it is that now leads coming through the old hairpin, but for how long? Because Sorowiak's got fantastic momentum there. Tries to haul it around the outside as we head through Starkey's Bridge and into Schwant. No moves being made, but there we go, Lucas Brown, 2 for the price of 1. Supermarket deal for Lucas Brown.
Yeah, it's taken it to a new level today. He did actually grab a position into the old hairpin, but then another 2 into McLean's, and he really has got a little bit extra there, and doesn't lose any momentum on the exit.
Got to have good confidence on the front end going into that corner in particular, and well, no shortage of that for Brown.
I guess I would give him the award for the latest braking yesterday. He definitely looked like the guy that could break the latest. Correa, however, probably the most aggressive, and as I said before, maybe Emmanuel Brinton, who was patient and just saved everything for the last couple of laps.
So down the back straight we go, well, relatively short back straight, in towards the Melbourne Loop. On the inside there is Correa, getting the lead back from Lucas Brown once more. Brinton keeping a watching brief on proceedings there in third place. I was down talking to Shaky Byrne actually before the start of this one, and I said to him about Emmanuel Brinton. I said the problem with Emmanuel is he's so tall that he obviously can't pass on the straight, and I reckon if you stuck him on a 600 or a sport bike machine or something along the lines of that, you'd really see Brinton shining. Not that he's not here in the Talent Cup, but I imagine his size is going to be counting against him a bit.
Yes, he still puts himself very well, as does Lucas Brown. He's a similar stature, and he alluded yesterday that it's maybe time to move up. He's done 3 or more than 3 years now in the British Talent Cup, and that's fine, but while they're running at the front, then they're not losing out too much, and all these guys in the hunt for the podium, no matter what shape or size they are.
Well, down through the crane as we go into the old hairpin. Sorowiak having a look to the inside of Brown, but Brown using that sweeping line, using that momentum to just hold on to the race lead, or challenge for the race lead now against Julian Correa as he pulls alongside him, coming through Starkey's Bridge into Schwantz. Looking it through to the right-hander, we know that is where Brown is superior. And I'll tell you what, Sorowiak's getting right duffed up here because he's lost 1 place, he's lost 2 places. Now with Brinton going past and possibly Ryan Frost nipping at his heels as well. So So through, out of Coppice we go, on towards the back straight. Only lap 3 out of 14, and we've already got great racing action. I tell you what, though, Ronnie Harris having a fantastic run in this on the 66 as well.
Just going to say that, yeah, Tom Sykes reminds me, Tom Sykes was that 66, but he's hanging on in there well. Ronnie Harris in 6 at the moment, so yeah, all the 6s, and yeah, doing a great job there, looking very tidy.
Yeah, first top 5 finish for Ronnie Harris yesterday, so he'll be hoping to try and improve on that here this morning as we run through the old hairpin, through the Melbourne Loop, I should say, rather, once again.
Great shot coming into Boddards. Brinton having a look down the inside, not going to get there this time. Lucas Brown's got that covered.
Yeah, lovely bit of riding there for Lucas Brown. Good confidence, as we said, on the front end of that machine. And I'll tell you what, Clayton Edmonds and Ollie Walker are not too far adrift of these riders as well, so they could very much be in contention as this race begins to develop. Brown has a look to the inside of Correa. Correa firms it around the outside, though, through Redgate. Down through Hollywood into the crane as we go. Ollie Walker, it was the fastest man on track last time around. That's courtesy, of course, of these 4 or 5 riders who are still involved in this battle, whilst Ollie Walker's just able to run at his own pace.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, it's not going to be long before he's in touch.
Up the rise we go, in towards Starkeys. I have to say, driving into the paddock yesterday, I think it is one of the best views of any circuit as Brown goes underneath Correa, just sitting there at the old hairpin, looking at the run down through the crater curves, that elevation, and watching a bike there. It's almost poetry.
It is special. Nice move there from Correa up into Coppice. Line drives up there. You really need to know where you're going there and be confident that you can make the pass. And another reshuffle as head down to the foggy S's, 4 abreast at this point. Who's going to break the latest?
Well, Correa there, lace on the brakes like a demon as he goes back through into the race lead. Serowiak up the inside of Brown for 3rd place as well, makes it stick. Ryan Frost says thanks very much, I'll join in on the action, and closes up onto the back of the Polish rider. Looks to try and challenge Lucas Brown there, getting a bit out of shape in 4th place, but just about manages to get it stopped into the hairpin then.
Ronnie Harris gets ever closer.
Yeah, cue the Jaws music here for Ronnie Harris, and also Clayton Edmonds and Ollie Walker.
Yes, they're there.
Slight bobble on the front end there for Serowiak through the final corner of Goddard as well. Managed to gather it up all okay, but just a slight warning sign for them. Further back, you can still see nose-to-tail action. You've got Harrison Mackay, Harley McCabe, George Bowes, Alexander Rowan, Peter Willis, all involved in action as Brown just sends it to the inside. He loves a lunge, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, but safe, good passing, exceeding track limits there, tapping his seat. Hoping that Ryan Frost will tag on. Ryan Frost says, no, I'll just do my own thing as he goes back past through Craner. That didn't work, that tactic, but yeah, Lucas Brown on the brakes, but he'll get a nice drive through up through Schwantz here, and we know the next part of the track is super strong for him.
Big cliche there for Ryan Frost in the background, coming out of the old hairpin. Nothing too much to worry about, but at the front you can see the top 3 have almost split away. Brinton there for a tighter line on the inside, defending from Philip Serowiak. He's in a really unfortunate position here because he wants to try and attack Correa, I'm sure, at some point, but he's having to keep a watching brief on what Serowiak is doing right behind his rear wheel.
Yeah, that's right, but it's weird when you're racing at this level. They'll be really aware, they've got that 6th sense, they know what's happening behind them, and but also you have to be defensive, and Brinton looking at an out-braking manoeuvre into foggy S's, not this time. When you said head shake, was that head or bike, as in bike head?
As in bike handlebars.
I missed it, yeah, just want to clear that one up.
Yeah, Ryan Frost looking pretty comfortable and calm at the moment, sits in 5th place. Top 4 now beginning to just build out that pace and start to push the envelope a little bit. You can see 2 fastest laps there for Brinton and Serowiak respectively, so I wonder if this is the opportunity they'll be looking to try and build a gap over Frost to just try and continue in the same form that they've done all weekend. They've been very good at battling with one another, these 4 riders.
You always get the impression of the number 43 Emmanuel Brinton that he could pass if he wanted to, but he's quite happy just to sit there. He just susses things out. There's a little bit of a dress rehearsal at a few corners, but doesn't actually pull manoeuvre off, whereas the 29 of Lucas Brown, he definitely will have a lunge, as you said before.
Down into the old hairpin, Brinton there has a slight look to the inside, but no room at the in for now against Julian Correa. Out of the old hairpin we go. You can see there Lucas Brown almost losing a little bit of touch now with these top 3s. They've really picked up the pace. Serowiak here goes to the inside of Brinton as we come through into Schwantz. He's going to be able to hold it on the brakes into McLean's. He is slightly wide on the apex there, but that's okay. He's got it all gathered up as Correa runs slightly wide for the race lead. Up the rise into Croppice corner. It's a blind entry into there. You go over the rise, the rear goes a little bit light, and you just saw Correa having a little bit of a wobble. Then that might have cost him a tenth of a second or two, possibly leaving him under threat here from Filip Soroviak. The thing is, this is all immaterial until we get to the sort of last 3 or 4 laps of the race.
Yeah, could easily just sit back, have a cup of tea, let them get to the last lap, and then let them sort things out. But Brinton is serious. He's just matched Soroviak's lap record from yesterday, 39.8 on that last lap, so he's certainly got the pace.
George Bowes having a good race as well. He's been on the fringes of the top 10 on a couple of occasions. Finished 10th in the opening race of the season at Navarra. Finished 9th yesterday. He's now up into 9th place once again, as we see. Oh, contact there between Soroviak and Julian Correa at the final corner. Sends Soroviak down the road and out of the race on lap 7. The bike stricken in the middle of the track. Riders are going to have to be very wary of that. The yellow flag will be out at that final corner. And 2 into 1 doesn't go, and unfortunately that is the Polish riders' race over and done.
Yeah, it's too bad. We'll get a replay of that, but he really just, he wasn't wide in there, but he pulled it back, and I'm sure he expected Correa to be up his inside, which of course he was, and that didn't take a lot of contact when you got that kind of lean angle. You see there, 75 runs wide, so yeah, and he's trying to come back, trying to pull it back, yeah, hindsight's a great thing, but he really should just sort of bailed out of that one. All the potential, and Manuel Brinton's so lucky not to clip him as well. Yeah,
really good job there from Manuel Brinton just to avoid him. But Filip Soroviak, well, he'll feel about as angry as a polar bear in the Canaries after that one, I'm afraid, as he jumps onto the tyre barrier into the Marshall's post and out of the race, unfortunately. So a DNF for Soroviak. That makes it his 2nd of the season, unfortunately, here for race 2 at Donington Park. It has also now brought a fair chunk of a gap out between Correa, Brown, and then you can see there Ryan Frost and Emmanuel Brinton with a bit of daylight to catch up.
Yeah, Brinton was the big loser there, but very lucky to stay on. I guess that will be deemed as a racing incident, but yeah, it's too bad because we were enjoying a great battle there. But this also will be interesting just to see if Brinton can dig in and get back to the front. Look at that long lap.
Correa contact for causing a crash. Well, I mean, I think I would have judged that as a racing incident as well, Neil, to be honest.
Yeah, he saw the gap. He wasn't super aggressive. He really just ran through the corner. It looked like Soroviak was running wide, and he assumed he would and kept it safe. But yeah, that's quite harsh, I think.
Well, of course, Race Direction have a lot more angles than we do here in the commentary box, and they can judge the incident based on that. Either way, Correa with that long lap penalty, that's going to really compromise him potentially, as Brinton goes underneath Ryan Frost at the old hairpin, makes the move stick to 3rd place, and these two need to be careful and be smart, try and work together here, really.
Exactly, and they can do it if they basically just keep their heads on the tanks, and if they see a slipstreaming opportunity on the longer straights, then just pull each other along, because the potential we're on lap 8 of 14, there is still time for these guys to get back in touch. I suspect Brinton always had a little bit left in the tank, and we're going to see that now. He's going to have to post some fast laps, so potential is still there to get back in touch with Correa and Lucas Brown.
Brown there having a look on the inside.
Especially if they do this.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, look at that. That's going to compromise Correa's run on the exit of the Foggy S's as well. Textbook bit of riding there for Lucas Brown. It was, again, another lunge into that corner, but he made it stick quite nicely. Now, does Correa go for the long lap this time around? He does. So where's he going to win? Oh, he drops it! He goes down on the long lap penalty. Correa out of the race on lap 8. Drama here in the British Talent Cup. Can you believe it for Julian Correa? On the deck, down and out at Donington, and no points on the board.
It's always a tricky one. He went in there hard, braking hard. There could have been a little bit of dust, a little bit of gravel, who knows, a little bit of tyre bubbling. You can see him coming down the outside there. Looked okay to me, but he is in there quite hot, so he had to brake extra hard as he was turning in and nowhere to go. So yeah, he's coming to this race 2nd in the championship and 0 points.
Let's have another look here. So you can see his legs dangling.
He's on the white line there. He's just went. Look, yeah, obviously lack of adhesion, which is pretty obvious. But was the suspension bottomed out? Was there dirt on the track? And it's such a tricky one. It's always a bit treacherous, the long lap penalty.
Fine margins, of course. Trying to just gain that extra tenth of a second or two might make a difference, or might have made a difference at the end of the race for Julian Correa. The upshot is he is now out as well. So Well, Lucas Brown leads the way. Brinton in second. Ryan Frost there in third place. You can see the live point standings and what it will mean for Correa. So he goes from second in the championship, 9 points behind. If the checkered flag fell now, he would be 34 points adrift. That is a disaster for Correa.
And I said Emmanuel Brinton might have something left in the tank. He certainly did. 1:39.3. Just took half a second off the lap record because he had to. So impressive.
Well then, let's have a look further back as you see Harley McCabe here on board the number 7. You've got battles going on. George Bowes there on board for 67 on the Microlights Cresswell racing machine. And he, in turn, has got Harrison Mackay for company as well. Great ride from Harrison Mackay, still recovering from that broken foot he picked up in a nasty practice crash in Navarra. And he's been in the hyperbaric oxygen chamber getting himself sorted and all okay. And he's back not to full fitness as now Brinton has really begun to pull the pin and goes through on Lucas Brown at the final corner for the race lead. As we begin lap 10, Brinton really has got a lot of pace underneath him, and this is fantastic from Emmanuel. But Brown's not going to take it lying down, is he?
No, not one bit. He'll tag on to the back of that. We know he's got some special parts of the racetrack where he is super fast. He'll be able to tag on to Emmanuel Brinton. Emmanuel Brinton is pushing there in front of them. The guys behind are going to get that advantage of a nice little slipstream. They can go with them.
Oh, Brown there, look to the inside.
Yeah, wow, he's not hanging back, and maybe he thinks, okay, I've got to keep passing, otherwise can't let Brinton get away.
Ollie Walker's very close as well. Oh, to see Brinton there, he got so close to the back of the number 29, he had to back out the throttle a little bit, didn't he? As Ryan Frost fancies a piece of the action, splits the two for the first time.
Wow, and this is why this championship is so good.
Nose-tail action then here as we come up the rise of Coppice. Brown it is that leads. Down the back straight we go. And Ryan Frost there, well, he's got a real opportunity here for Fibertech Honda to challenge for the victory. The first victory in a fairly long time, actually, for the MLAV Racing squad. Since they lost Johnny Garnett, of course, as a result of that crash he had out in Spain last year. It has been a bit slim pickings, and they've got 6 riders on the grid now.
Yeah, and it's great to see that carried on was the MLAV Vision Track team, and now Fibertech, so great to see they're well represented in the paddock. Ollie Walker as well, he's been into the 39s with his lap times as well, hanging in there in 4th position, and he's still catching the front, so he's not out of line for a podium position as well.
Yeah, he's made up 7 places on the start. I was down talking to team manager for Fibertech Honda, Nathan, down in the paddock yesterday, and he said the thing is Walker and Frost, their pace is so similar, he reckons that there's going to be a point in the season where they come to blows, or he hopes they don't come to blows, but they're going to go and start battling as well. Here we are.
Can I buy a ticket for that one?
Well, the debrief, I'd love to be a fly on the wall, wouldn't you?
And shout out to Scott McPhee, fellow Scott. He's in 10th position, so he's having a good run here at Donington. It's time that he stepped up. I'm sure Uncle John would say that as well, or is it Cousin John, or is it his dad? I'm not sure.
Your Cousin John, isn't it?
But yeah, he's good to see he's in the top 10. Great ride for young Scott.
Yeah, he's having a good run so far, isn't he? Of course, home weekend in a fortnight at Knockhill as well, but of course they won't be there because the next time we'll see these riders out is at Snetterton later on in the season. So look over the shoulder there for Ollie Walker in 4th place. So we've got 4 riders now battling for the race lead, exactly as we had in race 1. It's just a different 4 riders. The only one that's the same is Emmanuel Brinton. Down the back straight we go, and of course Lucas Brown to that matter as well as he leads.
Suddenly, Emmanuel Brinton has got another test on his hands. We shall see what how his strategy is going to pan out for this one. Not easy to plan it, that's for sure.
Tell you what, Ryan Frost is very handy on the brakes going into the Boggy S's though.
They've all got strengths. I mean, the only standout section for anyone is Lucas Brown at McLean's, but otherwise they're all pretty evenly matched.
Or here's Walker to the inside of Brinton. Does he manage to get that move done into the Melbourne Loop? He does. Fibertech Honda's now 1st and 3rd in this race. 3 laps remaining at the end of this one then. Frosted is at least. There's Lucas Brown. Here comes Brinton, repaying the favour on Ollie Walker through the final corner. Lovely bit of overtaking there. Doesn't run it too deep. Doesn't allow Walker to go for the switchback. We've seen that not work so far once in this race.
And 2 full laps after this one, so it really is getting serious. And despite another incident, that's the number 6.
Jack Burrows. He's gone down. down at Coppice as well. It's a fast place to crash. He's got the medics and the marshals here. Well, they're going to have to try and get that bike removed. There'll be yellow flags certainly at that corner, but it's a blind, fast part of the track. So I wonder if this will be a yellow flag, possibly a red flag, potentially actually, if they can't bring it out. And it is indeed a red flag. So there we go. The race will be declared a result because we're over 2/3 race distance, and it'll be Ryan Frost then at the last completed lap who will be classified as the race victor. Although not all of the riders have completed that last lap, so they may count it back one. We'll wait for confirmation on that one. At the moment, according to the timing screens, it's Ryan Frost who was leading last time around from Lucas Brown and Emmanuel Brinton.
Well, hope all the riders are okay, that's the most important thing, but it hasn't lacked any drama and it hasn't lacked any interest. Absolutely amazing British Talent Cup race here at Donington Park.
Well, our best wishes then to Jack Burrows, the rider who was involved in that incident which brought out the red flag at Coppice. You see the riders just making their way down the back straight and into the Fogarty S's. So Ryan Frost then, as we can see, at the moment, well, they're all wondering what's happening, and as are we here in the commentary box. And just confirmation, by the way, about Jack Burrows, we're hearing that he is on the stretcher and talking to the medics, who's conscious, and that's the main thing. So, being attended to by some of the best marshals and medics in the world here. The race safe marshals do a fantastic job. And, well, here after that crash with Jack Burrows, we didn't exactly see what happened, but you would imagine it's not going to be a slow one going through that corner.
No, it's not. Maybe got tangled up with someone else coming up there.
Have a look at the aftermath then of the crash here. We're just going to catch the back end of it.
Oh, on his own. So, yeah, maybe just got in a little bit wide, or right down hard. It's a fast entry there. You're kind of 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, the airbag going off there for the number 16, Jack Burrows, as well, on board the Burrows Engineering RK racing machine. As we said, conscious and talking to the medics. And the race safe marshals now doing their job. So, riders making their way then into Parc Ferme. We do have a result declared, and it will be Ryan Frost who takes his and Fibertech Honda's first victory of the season. It's his second podium for the 2024 campaign as well, and you can see exactly what it means to Fibertech Honda and to the whole of the MLAV racing squad. They've got such a presence in the two-wheeled categories now, in here in the European Talent Cup, in Moto3 and the World Championship, of course, as well.
Very much so, and it really is a road to MotoGP, British Talent Cup, Red Bull Rookies, Junior World Championship and Moto3. So yeah, if you're a standout rider, then the opportunities are huge. And Ryan Frost, as I said yesterday, heard lots about him for a lot of years, really coming good, showed some brilliance last year, but nice to see him get this race win in 2024.
Well, another podium for Lucas Brown and another podium for this man here, Emmanuel Brinton. Fantastic result for him once again. The top step eluding him after his first win of the season yesterday. But nonetheless, I think he'll be pretty pleased with that one, Will Manny. Let's have a look then at confirmation of the results from race 2 of the R&G British Talent Cup. It is Ryan Frost who takes top honours for the first time this year, from Lucas Brown in second, who will extend his lead in the championship over Emmanuel Brinton, who once again ends up on the box, this time in third place. Ollie Walker, a case of what might have been if that red flag had not come out prior to the end of the race. Fourth place for him ahead of Ronnie Harris. Edmonds, McCabe, Mackay, Bowes and Scott McPhee completing the top 10, with Charlie Huntingford and Peter Willis just outside. Further down the order, the points finishes are completed by Alexander Rowan, Dan Goodman and then Josh Bannister in 15th place. Mason Foster did manage to get on the bike after his sighting lap crash and finished in 16th place, so that's not a bad result there for the number 88 on board the BRP racing machine. So the championship standings, Lucas Brown had a 9-point advantage coming into this race. He extends that now up to 17 over Emmanuel Brinton. Ryan Frost, courtesy of that 25 points, is now up into third place. Julian Correa, after a crash for him going into the long lap penalty, dropped from second down to fourth in the standings. And Ronnie Harris also making some progress at the expense of Philip Soroviak, who was another rider who ended up out of the race. Further down the order, points of course for some other riders. Charlie Huntingford, Peter Willis, all in the mix there over the course of that race.
Ryan Frost, how does it feel to win your first ever British Talent Cup race?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I want to give big thanks to everyone that's helped me, my nan, my granddad, my mum, Fibertech, MLAV, just everyone that's helped me this year so far. it means so much to me. And to have the race win finally after 2 rounds, you know, I was hoping for a podium this year, and got a podium last round and a win this round. So yeah, I'm over the moon.
Well, let's hope these wins are like buses and they keep on coming. That was a great race. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, strong wins here at Donington Park here today. Wants to be careful, does Ryan Frost, with that facial hair. It might go for a Burton. Anyway, gravel now being cleared up after the crash there for Jack Burrows. As we said, talking to the medics following what was seemingly a very heavy impact with the tarmac at Coppice Corner. And now the circuit being prepared for the next bit of action to come here today at Donington Park. Of course, podium celebrations for the top 3 riders: Emmanuel Brinton in 3rd, Lucas Brown in 2nd, and Ryan Frost with his and Fibertech Honda's first victory of the season. Ryan Frost's best finish until that point this year was 3rd place. Last year was 4th place. And this being his 2nd season in the British Talent Cup, I make that his first win in the R&G BTC here at Donington Park as well. And he'll be absolutely delighted with that. And the first time in a long time as well that we've seen the MLAV racing bike on the top step of the podium. Emmanuel Brinton, once again another visit to the rostrum. 3rd place for him here. I think he'll be pretty pleased with that, all things considered. He stays in contention in the championship to Lucas Brown, who claims 2nd place and extends that advantage from 9 up to 17 points from here today. And Ryan Frost then onto the box, onto the top step for the first time in his British Talent Cup career for the Fibertech Honda squad. Now time for the trophies then to be presented to the riders. 3rd place there for Manny Brinton. We'll be pleased with that. 2nd place for Lucas Brown once again as well. Fantastic result for Lucas. Only finished off the podium in 1 race so far this year, and that was race 2 back at Navarra. Other than that, he's a fair old regular to the rostrum. And the victory, of course, for Ryan Frost as well. He'll be delighted with that, as will Fibertech Honda. Something to smile about here at Donington Park. Highlights then from the 2nd race of the weekend for the R&G British Talent Cup saw Philip Sorobiak starting on pole position, but an absolutely electric getaway from Ryan Frost from the middle of the front row of the grid saw him inheriting the lead down towards Redgate Corner. Manny Brinton slotted himself into 3rd place, and as we saw yesterday, it was a great tussle at the top. Lucas Brown 2 for the prize of 1 here into McLean's corner, and then we saw Julian Correa going for the move on the lead of the race at Melbourne Loop. Got himself up ahead, and it all began to kick off a little bit. Here is Philip Sorobiak running it a little bit deep. Correa goes on the inside, contact between the two, sends Sorobiak out of the race. The Polish rider disappointed and also dropping down to 4th in the standings. Here is Julian Correa's moment that defined him though. Long lap penalty and crashing out of contention. No points for the Floridian rider. At the sharp end, it was Frost, Brown, Brinton and Walker. Unfortunately, a red flag bringing out the proceedings, meaning that Ryan Frost was claimed as the victor from Brown and Brinton.